long series of connecting flights to Toronto, and then a Greyhound bus to the hospice in Milton, a small town he had moved to only recently. She stayed with him for the week until the end, and there had been time to talk, but not nearly enough. What was there to say? She asked me in a rough voice over the phone, the line hanging afterwards with a quiet impossible for me to fill. This call out of nowhere. Please visit, I said to her, doubt creeping into my voice even as I repeated myself. Come home to the park. The park is all of this surrounding us, this cluster of low-rises and townhomes and leaning concrete apartment towers set tonight against the sky dull purple with the wasted light of a city. We are approaching the western edge of the Lawrence Avenue Bridge, a monster of reinforced concrete over 200 yards in length. Hundreds of feet beneath it runs the Rouge Valley, cutting its own way through the suburb, heedless of man-made grids. But the Rouge is invisible to us tonight, and we have just arrived at the Waldorf, a townhouse complex at the edge of the bridge and made of crumbling salmon brick, flapping blue tarps draped eternally over its northeast corner. The unit where Aisha lived 10 years ago with her father is on the prized south of the building, away from traffic. But the side where I have remained all my life is at the busy edge of the avenue, exposed to the constant hiss of tires on asphalt. I warn Aisha about the loose concrete on the doorsteps and suffer a sudden bout of clumsiness working the brass key into the lock. I push open the door to show a living room lit blue with the shifting light of a television, its volume turned off. There's a couch with its back towards us, and on it there is a woman with graying hair who does not turn. I gesture to Aisha that we should be quiet. I remove my shoes in a demonstrating way, and with our coats still on, I quickly guide Aisha across the living room. The woman on the couch continues to watch the silent television, the mime of a talk show interview, a celebrity guest throwing his head back in laughter. I lead Aisha down a short hallway to the second bedroom, a small lamp casting a circle of light upon a desk, a bunk bed with a mattress and sheets on the lower bed only. The upper bunk long ago stripped bare, even the mattress removed, leaving skeletal slats of wood. I close the door behind us, and in the sudden smallness of the room begin explaining. We won't be sleeping together on the bed, of course. I'll be using the living room couch, which is quite comfortable, honestly. I point out the towel and extra blankets set out very obviously on the sheets of the lower bunk. I stop when I notice that Aisha is staring and that she hasn't let her backpack touch the floor. Your mother doesn't speak anymore? She asks. She speaks. She's just quiet sometimes, especially at night. I'm sorry, she says to me, shaking her head. I shouldn't have come. This is an intrusion. Bullets of slush smattering upon the bedroom window. Another truck that has passed too close to the curb outside. But in the wake of sudden noise, a feeling creeps upon me, one of shame, maybe, for imagining that I could try to end our conversation tonight like this, with talk of sleeping arrangements and towels, with acknowledgement of Aisha's father, yet no acknowledgement of that other law shadowing this room and measured in the 10 years of silence between us. I still think of Francis, she says. Francis was my older brother. His was a name a toughened kid might boast of knowing, or a name a parent might pronounce in warning. But before all of this, he was the shoulder pressed against me bare and warm, that body always just the skin away. Our mother had come from Trinidad, in what parents of her generation called the West Indies. It was a place that Francis and I, both born and raised here in Canada, had visited once and could recognize vaguely in words and sounds and tastes. It was a place that accounted for the presence in our house of certain drinks, like Morby and Sorrel, and also the inexplicably named Pierre, which Francis had once fooled me into believing was bathroom cleanser. Somehow, we felt that the West Indies made sense of other equally strange objects in our home, like the snow globe of Niagara Falls, or the lurking thread of Anne Murray's Snowbird 45. It was a place populated by relatives we had met only briefly, who existed now in old black and white photographs, ghostly images that were supposed to explain our eyes and way of smiling, our hair,